Confidence is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the presence of something that holds through the uncertainty. That is the specific kind of confidence this Monday morning is asking for. Not the false confidence of a person who has convinced themselves the week will go well. Not the brittle confidence of someone who has organized their life carefully enough that the unexpected things should not arrive. Not the performance of confidence as a strategy for managing the impression they make on people who can see the week is uncertain. The real thing, the confidence that is not contingent on the week's cooperation. That does not evaporate the moment the first unexpected difficulty arrives on Monday afternoon. That is present at the beginning and still present at the end, not because the week confirmed it, but because what the confidence is based in did not change with the week's contents. That kind of confidence has a source, and the source is not the person generating it through discipline or willpower or a sufficiently positive frame of mind. The source is outside the person. It is the God who goes before. The God who is already in the week before the person has taken a single step into it. The God whose faithfulness does not depend on the week's conditions and whose strength is not reduced by the week's demands. This is Monday, April 27th, the beginning of a new week. And before the week has made its first claim on the interior, before the inbox and the calendar and the obligations and the people have begun their pull, you came here to receive the confidence that only this source provides. Before the week has earned it, before Monday has confirmed it, right now, in the quiet of the morning before it all begins. His word declares in the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, that I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Through him. That preposition carries the entire weight of this prayer. The confidence is not, I can do all things by myself. It is, I can do all things through him. The source of the doing is external. The strength is given rather than generated. And the person who has learned to draw from the external source rather than the internal one has access to something the person generating their own confidence never does. A supply that does not run low because the week has been demanding. Before we enter this prayer, write in the comments right now, Lord, guide my mind with your confidence today. I begin this week from your strength, not from my own. Write it as the chosen sourcing, the deliberate act of acknowledging where the confidence is coming from before the day has had a chance to test whether what you thought you had was actually sufficient. Like this video as an act of choosing the received confidence over the generated kind. Subscribe to this channel so we can begin every week together before the Monday has had a chance to set the tone that God's preparation was meant to set first. And share this prayer with someone who starts every Monday from a position of insufficient confidence. Not because you have more confidence to give them, because you know the source of the kind that does not run out. Now let us receive the confidence before the week tests whether we have it. Lord my God and my Father, I come before you on this Monday morning with the honest condition of the interior. Not the version I wish was true, the actual version. The confidence that is naturally present this morning, which is some amount of genuine readiness alongside some amount of reservation about what the week is going to reveal. The hope that this week will go better than some recent ones, alongside the awareness that hope does not always match reality. The intention to show up well alongside the knowledge that intention and execution are not the same thing. I bring the actual version, not to confess it as a failure, to offer it as the starting point for what you are going to do with it, because the confidence this prayer is asking for is not produced by the person arriving with a sufficient internal supply. It is produced in the person who arrives with what they actually have and gives it to the God who adds what it lacks and transforms what it is into what the week requires. Your word declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, that God says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. uphold. That is the image of a person who is being held by something stronger than themselves, not supported from within, upheld from without, the righteous right hand underneath the person who would otherwise not have the strength to stand, and from the upheld position, the confidence is available that the standing on own strength position cannot sustain. That is the confidence being received this Monday morning, not manufactured from inside, received from the one who upholds. Father, I want to be honest about what the confidence that God gives looks like in the first hours of a Monday. It does not feel like invincibility. That is important to name because the expectation of confidence is often the expectation of a feeling that matches the word, the invincible feeling, the certainty that everything is going to work out, the interior sense that the week is going to cooperate. That feeling may or may not arrive. The God-given confidence is not a feeling, it is a foundation. And foundations are not primarily felt, they are stood on. The person who is standing on the God-given confidence may feel uncertain about the Monday in front of them, may feel the weight of what the week will require, may feel the genuine reservation that honest self-knowledge produces when it looks at the gap between what the week will ask and what the person naturally has. But underneath the feeling is the foundation, the upheld position, the God who is with them, the righteous right hand, and the person who knows what they are standing on can stand in the presence of the uncertain feeling without being destabilized by the feeling's honest assessment of the difficulty. The feeling says this is uncertain. The foundation says this is held. Both are true simultaneously, and the confidence the week requires is the ability to hold both of those truths at the same time. Your word declares in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Power, love, sound mind. That is the description of the confident interior, not the fearless interior. The one that is operating from power that was given rather than generated, love that was received rather than maintained, and sound mind that was provided rather than achieved. The fear may be present, but it is not what was given. What was given is power and love, and the mind that sees clearly rather than through the distorting lens of the anxiety. Lord, guide my mind with your confidence today. I begin this week from your strength, not from my own. And Father, I want to ask for something that the confident beginning specifically enables, that the reactive beginning prevents, the ability to set the tone rather than receive it. Because Monday morning is a moment of genuine influence over the week's direction. The person who arrives at Monday, having received the confidence in the morning prayer, brings a tone into the first conversations, the first decisions, the first engagements with the week that shapes what comes after. Not dramatically, but really, the confident opening of a conversation lands differently than the uncertain one. The decision made from a grounded interior has a quality that the decision made from a pressured one does not. The Monday that set its own tone rather than receiving the week's tends to hold its orientation longer. That is what is at stake in the first hour of this Monday. Not just the first hour, the whole week shaped by what the first hour established. The confidence received in this prayer is not only for this morning's comfort, it is for the quality of everything the morning touches. Your word declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, to above all else guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Everything flows from it. The heart that has been prepared in this prayer, filled with the confidence that comes from God rather than from the week's early evidence, produces a quality of day that the unguarded, unconfident heart cannot. Guard the heart before the day enters it. This prayer is that guard. This morning is that guarding. Let what flows from the guarded heart today be shaped by what was placed in it here, Lord, before Monday placed anything else. Not starting fast, beginning well. Because starting fast and beginning well are not the same thing, and Monday tends to reward the first when the second is actually what determines the quality of the week. Beginning well means the first conversations of the week are had from the confident interior rather than from the pressured one. The first decisions are made from the foundation rather than from the urgency of whatever arrived first in the inbox. The first moments of the Monday, the ones that set the interior tone for everything that follows, are inhabited from the position of the person who received the confidence in the morning prayer, rather than from the position of the person who is generating their stance on the fly as each new thing arrives. That quality of beginning is not dramatic, but it accumulates. The Monday that began well tends to produce a Tuesday that has more to draw from than the Monday that began reactively. The week that started from the confident morning prayer tends to hold its orientation better through the Wednesday difficulty than the week that started from whatever the Monday momentum produced. The beginning shapes what follows in ways that are invisible from inside the beginning, but visible from the end. Lord, I want to pray now about the specific shape of the confidence this week will test, because the confidence is always tested in the specific form of the specific week. It is not tested abstractly. It is tested in the relationship that is in a difficult season, in the work that has been demanding more than is comfortable to give, in the decision that has been pending and that this week will likely require to be made, in the conversation that needs to happen and that the uncertain outcome makes it hard to approach with genuine confidence. The confidence this prayer is providing is not generic. It is specific to those tests, to the relationship, to the work, to the decision, to the conversation. The God who is saying, "Do not fear, for I am with you," is saying it in the context of the specific fears this person is carrying this specific Monday morning. And the upholding is specific to the specific place where the person is most likely to feel the need to be upheld. In the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, there is a young man named David standing in front of a giant named Goliath. And before he throws the stone, he says, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." In the name of the Lord. That is where David's confidence came from, not from his own skill with a sling, though the skill was real, not from the certainty that his aim would be accurate, though it was. From the name he was coming in, from the God who was with him before the stone was thrown. The giant in David's week was literal. The giants in this week are the specific difficult things that have already positioned themselves at the entrance of the Monday. The relationship difficulty, the work demand, the uncertain outcome, they are real, they are not small. And the confidence that faces them is not generated by the person standing in front of them. It comes in the name of the Lord, from the one who was with David before the stone left his hand. Who is with the person entering this Monday before the first step into the difficult thing has been taken? Your word declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1, that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? The rhetorical questions answer themselves. Whom shall I fear? No one. Of whom shall I be afraid? No one. Not because the things that could produce fear are absent, because the Lord, who is the light and the salvation and the stronghold, is present, and his presence changes the answer to the fear question from the obvious answer to the confident one. Lord, guide my mind with your confidence today. I begin this week from your strength, not from my own. Father, I want to ask for something specific about how the confident mind holds when the weak tries to take the confidence back, because the weak will try. The first difficulty will arrive and present its case that the confidence was premature. The unexpected thing will assert its claim that no one could have been confident in the face of this. The accumulating pressure of Monday into Tuesday will test whether what was received in the morning prayer was real or was the feeling that fades as soon as the conditions become genuinely difficult? The confident mind does not collapse at the first test, not because the test was not real, because the foundation is not located in the test's conditions. The difficulty does not shake the foundation, it tests it. And the foundation, set in the morning prayer and stood on through the difficulty, reveals itself to be what it was declared to be. But there is a practice that maintains the confidence through the testing, the return, the deliberate, practiced, repeated act of checking the foundation when the test is happening rather than waiting until the test has passed. Not the full re-entry into the morning prayer, the single deliberate breath, "Lord, I am still standing on you." That is enough. The foundation was there before the breath. It is still there after it. The breath is simply the conscious act of acknowledging what is already true. Your word declares in the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 28, verse 20, that David said to his son Solomon, "Be strong and courageous and do the work. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord God my God is with you. He will not fail you or forsake you, will not fail, will not forsake." Those are unconditional statements about the nature of the God who is the source of the confidence. Not if the work goes well, then not failing. Not if the weak cooperates, then not forsaking. Will not. Unconditional. The confidence that rests on those unconditional statements is confidence that the week's conditions cannot invalidate. Hold me to that confidence today, Lord. When the Monday tries to revise the Sunday's preparation, when the first difficulty argues against the morning's foundation, when the feeling of confidence has not matched the demand and the generating mind is starting to try to compensate, remind me of what I am standing on, will not fail, will not forsake. And Father, I want to ask for something that goes beyond maintaining confidence through the Monday difficulty. I want to ask for the confidence that produces courage in the moments this week where the right thing and the easy thing are not the same thing. Because most tests of confidence are not tests of whether the person can remain calm under pressure. They are tests of whether the person will do the right thing when doing the right thing costs something. The right conversation that needs to happen, but that the result of having it is uncertain. The honest word that needs to be spoken, but that, speaking, it will not be comfortable. The decision that is clearly right, but that the right decision requires giving up something the person would prefer to keep. The act of faithfulness that no one will see or applaud, but that is genuinely the next right thing. Those moments require a specific quality of confidence. The confidence that is not looking for approval or outcome before acting. The confidence that acts because the action is right, from the God who defines what is right, regardless of whether the week's conditions validate the action after it has been taken. Your word declares in the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 29, that the early believers prayed for boldness to speak God's word. Not comfort, boldness. The specific confidence required to do the right thing in the presence of opposition or uncertainty or cost. And the prayer for boldness was answered. The God who provides the confidence for the Monday meeting provides the specific boldness required for the moment when the right thing is the costly thing. Give me that boldness this week, Lord, in the moments it is specifically needed. Not the courage to perform, the courage to do the right thing before the consequences have announced themselves. Lord, guide my mind with your confidence today. I begin this week from your strength, not from my own. Father, as this prayer closes, I want to receive something I will carry from this Monday into every day the week produces. A sentence, a single returnable truth that is shorter than a prayer and longer than a breath. Something that can be accessed in the 15 seconds before the difficult meeting begins, in the moment before the challenging conversation, in the gap between one demanding thing ending and the next beginning. Something that carries the weight of this prayer in a form that the compressed moments of a demanding week can actually receive. The sentence is this: "The Lord is with me. That is sufficient." Not sufficient in the sense of barely enough. Sufficient in the original sense. Fully adequate, providing what is needed. Complete. The Lord is with me, and that is fully adequate for what this Monday holds, for what Tuesday will hold, for what the unexpected Wednesday thing will hold, for what the Friday depletion will hold. The Lord is with me, and that is fully, completely, entirely sufficient. Your word declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6, to be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Goes with. Present tense. Active. Not went with on some prior occasion and is now watching from a distance. Goes. Continuously. Through every room the week contains, through every step the uncertainty requires, through every difficulty the confidence is tested against, goes with, the Lord is with me, that is sufficient. That sentence, returned to at every moment the week, tries to argue against the confidence this prayer established, is not a technique or a formula. It is the acknowledgement of a fact that does not change with the week's conditions. The Lord is with me. He goes with. He will not fail. He will not forsake. And from that fact, the confidence that is not contingent on the week's cooperation is available at every moment. The return to the fact is practiced. And I want to close with something about what the week looks like at the end, from the perspective of the person who began it from this prayer. The confident person does not arrive at Friday having had a different week than the reactive person. They arrive at Friday having lived the same week differently. The same demands were present. The same unexpected things arrived. The same difficult conversations happened. But the person who met all of those from the confidence of the God who goes with them moved through them in a different quality. Less reactive, more grounded, less destabilized by what was supposed to destabilize, more available for what was worth receiving. Your word declares in the book of Romans chapter 8 verse 31 that if God is for us, who can be against us? Who can be against us? The question is rhetorical. The answer is no one whose opposition can stand against the God who is for us. The week's difficulties are real, and they are not stronger than the God who is for the person who entered Monday from this prayer. That is the week that is beginning, not the easy week. The week entered with confidence, not the false kind, the real kind, grounded in the God who goes before, the God who upholds, the God who will not fail and will not forsake, the God whose strength makes all things possible, the God who is with me this Monday and will be with me every Monday of every week that follows this one. Lord, guide my mind with your confidence today. I begin this week from your strength, not from my own. That is the declaration. The week begins. The confidence is received. The source is named. And what the week will test has already been answered before the testing begins. To everyone who prayed with me this morning, go back to the comments and write it one final time. Lord, guide my mind with your confidence today. I begin this week from your strength, not from my own. Carry that into every moment the week presents as evidence against it. The Lord is with you. That is sufficient. Subscribe to this channel and come back tomorrow morning. We are here every day, receiving before the week takes, beginning before the week begins us. Share this prayer with someone who starts every Monday from a deficit, not because you have the confidence they need, because you know the source that never runs dry. May the Lord guide your mind this week with a confidence that is not produced by the week going well, but by the God who goes with you regardless of how it goes. May every giant this week presents be faced from the name of the Lord rather than from the supply of your own strength. May the returns throughout this week find the foundation exactly where it was left. And may you arrive at Friday with the quiet testimony of someone who was upheld. Not because the week was easy, because the righteous right hand never let go. In Jesus' name, amen.